I am Kim Tracy with the Maxwell James Agency, and our intention is to connect phenomenal speakers and business owners with trade shows, conferences, symposiums, and corporate training, seminars, events of that nature. My guest today is Sean Manning with Payroll Vault here in Denver, Colorado. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's kind of a snow day here in Colorado, so doing good.
It is. And are the kids out of school today?
They are. So you know what? I better set the stage. They could come running in, so we might have some guests. I'll tell them they're a guest speaker, then they'll run out real fast, right?
Oh my God! You're gonna have to have the do not disturb sign when you're in your home office.
Yeah, I warned them. So.
Oh gosh! Or maybe we should craft you an on-air sign, and then they won't come barging in.
Yeah, that will be useful.
Perfect. So, if you would, for the viewers that do not know you, then let's have you describe Payroll Vault and how it came to be.
Yeah, the brand Payroll Vault was kind of a springboard from our own payroll service business that we started here in the Littleton area in 2008. Had a lot of success, and through my education inside the accounting industry, so I do a lot of speaking and education within the accounting and payroll industry. Our brand just really kind of resonated with communicating opportunities to other people. Mm-hmm. And so after about a year of researching the potential of franchising our company because of our success, we went ahead and launched our franchise brand in 2012. So now after 3 full years, we have 28 locations in 18 states, and just having a lot of fun with helping others become entrepreneurial and teach them about our successes, and really being in a position to give them all the tools that we created and a path to help them be better business owners and successful in the payroll industry.
Nice. And when you are interviewing potential franchise owners, what kind of process do you take them through?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. We get quite a few inquiries, so maybe 20, 30 inquiries a month. And a lot of those people, the first question is, tell me what a franchise is. Tell me what a business is. And they're just exploring opportunities, which is really kind of cool because our whole vision is to just help people understand business in general. And then maybe we have a good fit for them within the payroll industry. So we take a little bit of time in just trying to educate them. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people, experimenting with the idea, and it can be sometimes difficult to start your own business. And not having the right tools, it can be intimidating. So, unfortunately, a lot of potential business owners kind of exit the idea phase. Probably 80 to 90% of them actually exit the idea phase because it can be an overwhelming process. There's, obviously a lot of risk and a commitment. So we want to walk them through to make sure they're comfortable with the process. And then once we get kind of over that level, then we start to do our confirmation to see if they're a good fit for our brand and sharing the kind of same vision path that we have as an organization. So it's a very interesting process to help people go through that consideration phase.
Okay. And once they have signed on to purchase a franchise, you had mentioned earlier today that several of the new owners have flown into Denver, Colorado, where you have 1.5 feet of snow at your house, and who knows what they have in Littleton. And so now they're thinking, oh my gosh, this is an introduction to Payroll Vault. Welcome to Denver, Colorado. What type of training? Yeah, you said you just did a 1-hour presentation with them. What kind of information did you cover with them?
Yeah, so a lot of my role now is kind of this leadership idea and what that really represents and how our brand affords that opportunity to become really a leader, not only within the organization, but within your community and help other business owners be successful. So this morning I had about an hour with the 6 Payroll Vault offices that are in town doing training. And my whole focus is to teach them about what my role is as a leader of the organization, but also empower them to also share in that responsibility. Because if you can delegate a lot of things that you do as a leader, you now empower people to become leaders themselves. And I call them career opportunities. We look at the people that work with us as helping them create a career opportunity that's fun and exciting for them. So I want to know what resources they lead to help them with those tools. So I kind of go through about 5 or 6 key points in that leadership process and what's needed to be a leader.
Okay. And the first one that we had talked about earlier today was branding is a big thing. When you buy a franchise, you might have the support of corporate, but there still is that branding effort that needs to go on.
Yeah, and it was really powerful to see our Payroll Vault brand kind of mature in our market. And probably the best way to look at it is every company needs a mascot or who they represent. And as your team grows, they needed to identify very strongly with your brand. So our whole focus is to create a lot of excitement about the name Payroll Vault itself. That's kind of our brand. We do have a logo, but our brand is really Payroll Vault in our color. I was doing a presentation about 2 months ago, and actually I was doing the same presentation over a series of 4 events. And the message was, let us help you be a better business owner. But my PowerPoint presentation had the Payroll Vault brand on it. And at the end of the presentation, they said, it's all great, but you told us too much about Payroll Vault. And I sat back and I said, interesting, because I really didn't mention Payroll Vault. I just kind of explained all these details. The very next week, I stripped out all the branding in the PowerPoint. And at the end of the presentation, I asked them, do you know what we do and offer? And everybody's like, no. So the power of your brand can be that impactful that just during a presentation, the message comes through loud and clear. So if you can position your business to have a strong brand, not only is it identifiable and easy for you to share, but your team members, your customers, your referral partners, everybody knows who you are and can engage as part of that brand.
Very, very true. Now, when I've come down to Payroll Vault several times, and something that you said, I don't know, maybe it was this past fall or winter, was you have people who call the company and say, we want to work for you. How have you and Marilyn developed this corporate culture where people actually want to work for you and you have such a low turnover?
Yeah, you mentioned the word culture, and kind of underneath that branding, you need to start to develop your culture. And as a small organization, our office itself only has 5 or 6 employees. Our corporate team is made up of about 8 people. So it's a small organization. But when you're out in the community, you get the sense that we're helping make something different. So this culture idea is, once you empower your staff to understand the culture and be creative with it, it creates a desire to be a part of it. And so what we find now is when we're out in the business community, everybody's asking, what is going on there? Why is everybody happy? Why is everybody so excited? And I have to sometimes step back and try and understand myself why all this is happening. But it's empowering a team of people to love what they do. And payroll services isn't all that exciting. But when you build a team around it that's having a lot of fun, that creates that culture. So it's the voluntary things. I call it company essence. It's empowering people to do voluntary things that make a difference in the community. And it's so impactful that now, I used to do quite a bit of networking. When I go out and in the community do networking, I'll walk into a networking event with my Payroll Vault name tag and walk into a group of people and they're like, oh my God, are you new with Payroll Vault? This is so cool. And I'm like, well, I'm founder and CEO. Actually, I'm just kind of out saying hi to people. And they're like, wow, that's so cool. So the culture, the staff almost creates their own culture, and it's exciting to see.
Very good. And how have you guys been able to cultivate this? Because you talk about a big part of being a leader for you is delegation. And is it building trust within that staff? So while you guys are doing X, you know that the staff, whether they're in Littleton or even the tech center now, they're doing their thing. You can trust them to do that.
I'm kind of glad you asked that question. I did a presentation a couple of weeks ago, and I was analyzing our company culture, and I tried to identify and define what that is. And what I came up with to help answer that question is letting people have fun, giving them the freedom to feel confident and letting mistakes happen in a safe environment that builds a respected business and creates rewarding career opportunities. So our whole goal is to create an environment that people feel safe. I need a safety net there. Mistakes are going to happen, right? So I want to make sure the safety net's there so that when something happens, they come to me and say, hey, Shaw, this happened. How do I fix it? Can you help me? I want to be a part of us growing and developing, and not to discourage the fact that we want creative people. We want them having fun and being excited. And I know things are going to happen, but let's fix it together and make us a better organization as a result. So
very true. Very true. What are some of the tools that you as a leader not only leverage for yourself and the company, but that you teach the franchise owners as they're coming into, this exceptional culture?
That's a good question. Probably one of the number one things that I see companies not identifying is conflict. So I look at conflict as creating opportunity. And so the way I think of it is conflict is really the catalyst for change. And the only way to be a better organization and create new ideas that foster business development and growth is to find a way that conflict exists, but make sure there's a way to manage it and let everybody know that that conflict creates opportunity. And so that's going to be and you throw energy into the situation, and all of a sudden you have successful businesses and a plan. The key component there, and my team reminds me of this, and I need to be reminded of this occasion, is communication. Communication is very key. I share a vision path, and I want everybody to know what that is. My struggle is making sure that that's realistic. I stay very motivated. And so my struggle is making sure I communicate a path of success that's achievable, so people recognize our advancement and are part of it. And sometimes that's where the ideas come from. And so we celebrate when those things happen.
What is one of your favorite tools to use in training the franchise owners?
Oh my gosh, we keep. I like basic stuff too. So we do the manuals. I tell you one thing we do is when they come into the office for training, we pile them up with all this swag, right? With T-shirts and pens and all this stuff that's laying all over the desk that just creates this environment of almost fun and exciting. So we actually look at those tools as something that's very useful. Obviously, technology like this, I'm very excited for you to share this new technology with me. In the franchise world, it's very powerful to be able to communicate with multiple people and share ideas amongst ourselves. So we utilize technology. We have a new office, collaborative space that we're putting together. The Access Business Center is really a kind of a franchise hub and a business hub for successful people to come and work together. So I like constructive collisions. The more people, the better in a maintained environment, right? So you maybe want 5 to 10, but I love the interaction and to hear the stories. And I commented this morning with the franchisees that are in town. I like to hear the experiences going around the room and listening to everybody, because then I can identify, I can learn from that, and then hopefully share some relevant information. So any technology is good. And but don't discount the simple things either.
Like what?
like the branding, the material that you hand out, the little things can make a difference. And I do print out information that hopefully is impactful, because we want to make it an experience for somebody. So as you have meetings or educate, the better experience you can make, the more successful the meeting, generally, in our opinion. So.
Very, very true. And so I have to do a shout out. Luis Tavel is watching us right now. And I just want you to make sure that we repeat this. It's called a constructive collision. I've never heard that before. I think you're going to have to coin that phrase, because I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to write this down on my notes about you.
It's so cool.
So,
it's fun to see when that happens.
What if you have a franchise owner that they've gone through this qualification process, but as they're kind of going through in the trenches, you're identifying aspects of being a leader where maybe everybody has areas of improvement, or maybe they have strengths. How do you work with that owner to really capitalize on what they're bringing to the table?
That's probably one of the biggest challenges as a mentor to franchisees, and to help them understand opportunity is really, you have to customize. And so luckily for us, the team of people with our executive team with Tricia and Melvina, and that team, they do a really good job of identifying. As a group, we kind of fit each other really well, and can relate to different owners and their staff in different ways. So taking a team approach is probably the best solution. And we stay very engaged. Again, I love the opportunity to talk to our franchisees. I'm going to do interviews with them over the next couple of weeks, and talk to every single one, and circle back and see where we can help the best, because everybody has different strengths, and you really have to look at what those are, and then help them build in the areas that they want to see improvement. So it's a very customized approach, which is fun. It's rewarding when you see them meet their goals with the guidance that you can get.
And do you have specific strategies on how you help somebody enhance their leadership skills? I mean, you evaluate a person, they say, this is what they bring to the table. How do you enhance and or help them hit their objectives?
So probably a lot of what we discussed today sets the groundwork for, I saw a presentation late last year, and it really resonated with me. He talked about working for gain instead of pain. And what it meant to me is every single day I go into the office, and I try to do one or two things that make it my life easier in the future. And just a simple example is at the accounting firm, I've transitioned quite a bit out of there, and brought together a team of people that actually works more efficient without me. And I play a certain role. So when a business owner needs certain components, a business sale or consulting, they bring me into those situations, and it works really well. But during this transition phase for the last probably 3 or 4 years, I meet with my office manager every day for 5 minutes, because there's things that can pile up on your desk the day before that somebody, even though it's 5 minutes, 10 things, it can be very distracting. And it doesn't allow me to focus on things that I should be doing as a business owner. So this work for gain is, you need to set the stage that you're going to work every day trying to move your business forward. And if you're still caught up in solving problems from yesterday or last week or last month, and you dread the phone ringing, you're working for pain, not gain. So there's a transition that needs to occur. And the funny thing is, over the last 3 or 4 years, I felt like I've worked for more gain than ever. So we set our initiatives for the year. We work hard to achieve those initiatives. And then when you accomplish them, you go back and you're like, wow, that's kind of cool. Think about your greatest experiences ever. They were probably some of the most difficult achieve, or from a achievement standpoint, the hardest work you did. But when you finally achieve them, you feel great. And it's about the one thing I did at a franchise conference last year is through my experiences, I look back and I'm far further along than I ever imagined as a business owner. And I sat down and thought, I wonder how that happened. And what I realized is I worked with a lot of mentors. I constantly evaluated the business, tried to empower staff, and it created a great environment. And so 10, 15 years go by and I'm further along than I ever imagined. So at the last conference, when I finally realized this process I went through, I told all the franchisees and the staff and everybody that was there, there's about 100 people in the room, is close your eyes and imagine yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, knowing that all the tools that you saw over the last couple days and where we're going as a company, imagine where you want to be. And I said, if you can achieve that, if you see in your mind's eye where you want to be, and if you achieve that, I will help you go further. So my goal is to make sure that if they put in the hard work and effort and have a path that they're satisfied with, together we can accomplish more. And
Very
so that's
true.
part of that conversation with the franchisee, is helping them see a vision and asking them how I can help them get them there is a big focus of what we do.
A huge one. Now, you are a recovering accountant. Can you tell the viewers what that means?
Well, it means so I still own an accounting firm, right? So I own a few companies. And the springboard to a lot of these was the accounting firm. And so the last couple of years, I've kind of moved more of the management role of that firm and less in production. And so recovering accountant means when I go in there now, I'm not quite sure why I'm there. So I'm less and less involved with the day-to-day and more strategic, and then helping clients at a high level. So obviously I love my experiences as an accountant, and it still plays a key role in what I do in some parts of the business. But now I've kind of moved beyond that to new and exciting things.
What did you learn, or what type of growth did you go through from being an accountant to becoming an entrepreneur?
Yeah, that's a really great question. The book, The E-Myth, talks about people that are very technical in nature, and they love their work. So if you really look at an accountant, they get very technical. So they like to do tax returns, they like to do accounting, and you get good at it. And you earn a lot of respect from that. So sometimes it's hard to make that shift to say, hey, I want to run my business versus be in it. And oddly enough, I do have to say it was probably more natural for me. My original degree is in hotel restaurant management. So I wasn't an accountant by nature, so to speak. I kind of learned to be one. So it was probably easier for me to make that transition, but it was a very exciting one. And I tell you what, I can't be more proud of the staff over at the accounting firm, because they do an amazing job and really let me do what I'm good at too. So we've had this conversation 3 or 4 years ago with all the new opportunities that are being presented. And man, they've done an amazing job. I'm really proud of them. And they're still working hard and doing a great job with that company too.
Very nice, very nice. Before I let you go, describe to me the new building, Access Business Center, right?
Yep.
Where is this located for people in Denver? And then, of course, people out of Denver won't know anyway.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool. We have 9,000 square feet out in the Denver Tech Center, which is right off of I-25 in Bellevue. And we're kind of updated that cool, hip type of feel. And so our corporate office, our Payroll Vault corporate offices, are going to have 2 or 3 offices there. We're making a work collaborative so that those constructive collisions can occur. We have basically shared workspace,
Okay.
office space available. We have shared resources. We have really cool conference rooms, reception, and basically a place to come in and work in a relaxed environment, but be working together with people where there's a lot going on. And it's designed to not only kind of be more of a networking type environment, but really respectful from the standpoint I mean, obviously contact us if you're interested, but it's really designed for businesses to work in a more shared collaborative work environment in a high energy, professional environment so that, we could all help each other. That's really the design of the idea. So it's officially kind of launching here in about a week or two. We have our furniture being delivered.
Okay.
It's all ready to go.
Okay.
And we've been using it at our corporate office. So welcome to come down. We'll have events and look forward to sharing the resources.
Oh my gosh. So that means, is the House of Manning going to go away?
No, it's not. So we had about 25 people working out of there. So we'll keep both locations. Right. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh, good. Oh, good. But at least they won't be as close together as they are right now, right?
That's correct. It's
That is correct.
Crazy over there. Yeah, growing at a pretty fast pace.
Oh my gosh. Well, what you'll have to do is make an announcement when Access Business Center opens, and then we'll have to come and crash the party.
Sweet. Yeah, let's do it.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for being with me here today, and we will schedule the next Blab with Sean Manning in the near future. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.